Neno hili si hivyo. Mambo ni matatu.
Ladies and gentlemen, good morning and welcome back to our channel once again. And it is my hope and prayer that the video is going to find you guys in good health. Personally, I am fine, as you can see. Kisumu is fantastic, and maybe you could also let me know where you are watching the video from, the county or the country, in case you are out of the republic. Ladies and gentlemen, Mama Ida Odinga has accepted the nomination by President William Samoei Arap Ruto as Kenya's permanent representative to UNEP. That masterstroke by the president has changed the political equation in ODM party and in Kenya completely.
Thank you very much, those who have congratulated me for this new appointment. To me, it is an honor, and I'm happy about it. But of late, I have been going through some challenges. Now, I lost my husband about 3 months ago. Before that, every time I stood here, people would say, oh, introduce me and say, she's the wife of. But these days, I've been given another baptism, and that is the widow of. I still carry that name with pride.
And when President Ruto made that announcement, Kenyans were divided in their opinion. There are Kenyans who believed that Mama Ida Odinga ought to have rejected that appointment because for them, Mama Ida Odinga is bigger than that particular appointment, considering the fact that she's actually replacing none other than Babu Owino. But other Kenyans, where I am, believed that Mama Ida Odinga ought to have taken over that particular appointment.
And we say a very big thank you to His Excellency the President for considering appointing Her Excellency Dr. Ida Betty Odinga as the ambassador and permanent representative to UNEP. It is a good gesture for which we are grateful.
But there were also other Kenyans who wanted to use Mama Ida Odinga for their political objectives. And therefore they didn't want Mama Ida Odinga to take up the role. Let me ask you, as one of the Kenyans on this platform, do you think it was a good idea for Mama Ida Odinga to take up that role? Or maybe, according to you, you feel that she ought not to have accepted that appointment? Let me read your comments below. Because for me, that appointment by Mama Ida Odinga, by William Ruto, as much as it might be political, I think Mama Ida Odinga is right to take it. But there's serious political implication that appointment has caused, which I want us to analyze in this video. Before we do that, for those who are watching the channel for the first time, please take a second or two, click that subscribe button so that next time we produce a video like this, YouTube will automatically notify you. And to the subscribers, I want to continue thanking you guys for your continued support. Because without that support, this channel cannot be where it is. Ladies and gentlemen, first of all, let me explain why that appointment is important. Number one, it's one of the most strategic UN posting in Kenya. So Mama Ida Odinga will be strategically placed in one of the UN most strategic posting in the country. Because of that, I think at her age, Mama Ida Odinga needed something to relax her, especially after the passing on of Raila Odinga. Importantly, Mama Ida Odinga will become Kenya's official voice at the UN on environmental matters. When you remember the Mau conservation, the man who saved Mau forest, who was that? Raila Odinga. And because of that, I think Mama Ida Odinga can be that ambassador just to honor the husband, just to honor the ODM party leader, and actually pursue it even further. And importantly, she will represent Kenya in most of the high-level meetings, assemblies, and international forum. So Raila Odinga passed on. Mama Ida Odinga used to teach. She was kicked out almost 30 years ago from teaching. Now she has the opportunity to, at the highest level, she can attend those meetings. You know, there are those assemblies, there are those international forums which will expose her. At least Mama Ida Odinga needs something to keep her busy. And we also know that Raila Odinga had serious international connections. And because Raila Odinga had serious international connections, this appointment will constantly create engagement for Mama Ida with countries, diplomats, and international organizations. For example, if Raila has a friend somewhere and there's an international forum in those countries, they'll easily reach out to Mama Ida Odinga. And it will be nostalgic for Mama Ida Odinga, for example, to go to Nigeria, where Raila was loved in her capacity now as one of the representatives of Kenya. So for me, it will give Mama Ida Odinga that advantage. Importantly, this position also comes with salary. I know at the level of Mama Ida Odinga, and this is what most Kenyans felt, at the level of Mama Ida Odinga, she might not really need that salary because she has goodwill, she has the money. If anything, if the government wanted, they could just do for her most of those things. But this appointment now will mean Mama Ida will have a good salary. Mama Ida will have a housing, diplomatic. She will have transport. She will have representative allowance. For example, if she goes to those events, she will get allowance. She will have an ambassadorial. She will have She will have official residence as an ambassador. Official car with flag. Very important, with flag. And apart from that, Mama Ida will be entitled to several staffs. You know, when Raila Odinga passed, several people lost their jobs. People were working with him. And even some of them are still working, but they are worried. How will their salaries be catered for? So I'm 100% sure that some of them will be absorbed here just to continue that legacy of Mama Raila Odinga. Just to continue with that legacy of Raila Odinga. It will give Mama Ida that peace. And remember, as much as this thing is not about salaries, because for me that's not the most important thing, it also comes with prestige and influence. How many of your villagers works with the UN? Very few, right? But this appointment has serious political implication, especially on Winnie Odinga. Because remember, Winnie Odinga was the face of rebellion against the broad-based government and of course against a faction within ODM party. She was opposed to Babu Owino, and therefore the other group was rallying around her. And again, it will have serious political implication on Edwin Sifuna. So far, Edwin Sifuna has remained mute over this particular appointment because of the implication. Sifuna made a promise to Mama Ida. So I think now that Mama Ida will be that influential, she might call Edwin Sifuna to toe the line. And if she calls Edwin Sifuna and Edwin Sifuna will not toe the line, then that will be an advantage to the other camp. There is also Babu Owino. I can't say much, but remember, Babu Owino was also, but there's also Babu Owino. Remember, Babu Owino is also part of this group opposed to Babu Odinga. Babu Owino wants to become the ODM party leader. And this group provided him with an opportunity. He's opposed to William Ruto. And Babu Owino is a member of parliament. The biggest challenge for Babu Owino is how will he avoid voting for Mama Ida Odinga without praising William Ruto for making that bold appointment. And of course, apart from Babu Owino, we have Orengo, the governor for Siaya, who is actually being isolated as we speak Orengo is completely isolated as far as Siaya politics is concerned. And the person he was now rallying around was Mama Ida Odinga. Remember when they held that rally in Nairobi, Kawangware, Orengo was very bold that ODM leaders must respect Mama Ida Odinga. And now those are the leaders of the other camp in ODM party. So which means those anti-broad-based government leaders, all of them are affected by this appointment in one way or the other. But number one, Mama Ida Odinga will now support William Ruto's government. There is no way the president can appoint you to that high level, that powerful position, and then you still wake up and oppose him. So the fact that she will now be supporting Ruto, what does that mean? It means people like Winnie, people like Sifuna will be forced to toe the line, or will be forced now to start opposing Ruto. Remember, one of the things Ruto did, he made this appointment to solve several equations in ODM party. One of them is the Raila Odinga and Oburu Odinga family over the control of ODM party, because William Ruto told Kenyans that he was not going to allow ODM party to go to the opposition. That's number one. Number two, the rebels. And this is the biggest question. And this is why Ruto set up this. Will the rebels support Mama Ida Odinga in parliament? I know most of them will try to even be the people proposing her name in parliament or second that motion. But how will they be able now to separate Ruto, the bad guy, from Mama Ida Odinga, the good lady? So it's like a good guy, it's like a bad guy has appointed a good lady. So how do you separate them? How do you give credit to the good lady and not the bad guy who has made that appointment? And for me, that's exactly what William Ruto wanted to achieve, and he has achieved it. And lastly, Mama Ida was the silent face in the other camp. That is the honest truth. And Ruto has now completely, and I want to repeat, William Ruto has now completely finished the opposition in ODM party. He has done that effortlessly, but through that strategy. I don't know what you think. That's my take. Until next time, this is Lee McQueen. Bye-bye.